A house fire is one of the most frightening and devastating tragedies that anyone can experience. If you're building a new home, protect it and your family with the next generation in fire safety, a home fire sprinkler system. In the time that it takes the fire department to arrive on the scene, sprinklers will control, if not put out the fire. In fact, 90% of home fires are put out with just one sprinkler. Install home fire sprinklers and protect what you value most. Every 20 minutes, a home burns in Canada. A house fire is one of the most frightening and devastating tragedies anyone can experience. The aftermath of a fire, heat, smoke, water damage, forced to rebuild and replace belongings if they can be replaced. Think about all the personal belongings you could never replace. Your family photos, antiques, other treasures that have been passed down for generations, jewelry, china, your child's favorite toy. And of course, fire is the most devastating when it takes a life. Every year, more than 400 Canadians die in fires. Most die in the very place they feel safest, their own homes.
The air between the fireplace and the chair was enough to ignite the chair. And that's where the fire started. And it quickly went up the drapes and then went throughout my son's room. And pretty soon, the entire bottom of the house was on fire. First thing I looked for was for my wife, but even when I found my wife, I hardly recognized her because she looked about 20 years older than she was normally, and I had to look twice to see it was her. She was in such a state of terror. Actually, I thought that the fire was going to be a little fire in the corner of my son's room, and that little paint and a little bit of gyprock, and we'd have it all fixed up. But the extent of the damage was so immense that it was, I just couldn't believe that that much damage could be done that quickly.
You should have these in your home. Working smoke alarms. Smoke alarms are essential early warning devices. But these home fire sprinkler systems take fire protection a step further. In less time than it would take most fire departments to arrive on the scene, fire sprinklers can control and usually put out a fire. In fact, installing both smoke alarms and fire sprinklers reduces the risk of death in a home fire by more than 80%. Fire sprinklers have protected people and property in public buildings for over 100 years, and now people are asking for that same protection in their own homes.
It's over 40 years since I first became a professional firefighter, and in that time I've personally witnessed so much devastation, so much loss of life, particularly right where people live in their own homes. And yet, you know, what I understand very clearly today is we can do something about that. In a combination with smoke alarms and fire sprinklers, I know we have the answer. If people had their homes protected with sprinklers, we would not have the number of fatalities that we have right in the home. I put fire sprinklers in my own home for a couple of reasons. The main reason is to protect my family. That's the most important thing to me. The second reason is I believe in it so strongly that I have to do it. I want to share this message with other people, and I want to be so confident about it that I can tell them very proudly that I believe in it strongly, that my home, my family are protected by a fire sprinkler system right where I live.
Let's take a look at a typical fire sprinkler installation. Like the plumbing, a fire sprinkler system is a network of pipes that are concealed inside the walls and the ceilings of your house. Normally, one per room is all that's required. In a large room like this, you may have 2 or 3. There are literally hundreds of sprinklers available for residential installation, ranging from this one that looks a little bit like what you're used to seeing in sprinklers, to this one, which totally hides the sprinkler system, and this decorative plate actually falls off before the sprinkler activates. That really hides it and looks very nice. If you're on a sidewall, it would look like this one. Now, each one is individually activated at a predetermined temperature somewhere between 57 and 74 degrees Celsius. The sprinkler turns on and applies water directly to your fire. There's a common misconception that the entire system could turn on all at once, and that's simply not true. Only the sprinkler closest to the fire will turn on, spraying water directly on the fire. In the spreading fire, a second sprinkler may activate, but in fact, 90% of fires are extinguished by just one sprinkler. Another misconception is that the sprinklers can accidentally discharge, causing serious water damage. In fact, the odds of accidental discharge are 1 in 16 million. You have a better chance of getting hit by lightning.
Now we're going to take a look at two different scenarios of fires in residential houses. And I have with me Sandy McKenzie, who is the fire marshal from Calgary. Sandy, I'm glad you're here with me, with your whole crew.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we're going to actually start a fire in this house, and this is a house that does not have residential fire sprinklers.
That's correct.
So we'll see just how the fire spreads in an ordinary house here. You're going to light the fire in that wastebasket over there, huh?
I am.
Okay, I'm going to time it and see just how long this takes. This would be like if a cigarette had fallen into that wastebasket and you'd gone to bed or something, and oh, but that's starting right up there, okay. Well, we already have a flame. Oh, look at that, it's coming up really fast. And so that could have smoltered for hours, actually, before it burst into flame. Huh?
Well, with a cigarette, you know, in a couch, it could be 3 or 4 hours, and look at that.
Already the smoke alarm's going off. It's 24 seconds.
Look at how tenable
And so,
this is.
but I can start smelling it now.
Yes.
And so this would be waking up people if they were sleeping upstairs.
That's correct.
They should be getting up following their escape plan.
The escape plan. Come down the stairs, crawl, go to the
That's right.
outside.
You can still get through here right now, but we're only 40 seconds after that was lit. I can feel, how hot does this get?
Well, right now we're talking maybe 54 degrees Celsius.
How hot can it get?
It can get to plus 500 degrees Celsius in 4 to 5 minutes.
Okay, now we're starting to get some smoke rolling across. Oh, gee, I can really feel this heat up here. Now, if we were upstairs here, oh, look at that coming up. I wouldn't want to go down at this point. Okay, let's get out of here.
This is a demonstration only. In an actual fire, the escape plan should be to immediately exit from the ground floor, never go upstairs. For this demonstration, an escape ladder allowed the crew to exit the second floor.
That was less than a minute and a half, and I just couldn't even stay in that stairway, and no more than a minute and a half after that fire started. So that was really going fast. Now, how long would it take the fire department to get here?
In this area, 6 to 8 minutes.
Depending on where you live, within 5 to 10 minutes after calling 911, the fire department arrives. Using their hoses, they spray 15,000 liters of water from each hose on the fire. Windows are broken, and the fire department cuts holes in the roof to fight the fire.
After the fire's out, everything is blackened. There's water damage everywhere. They're going to have to board up these windows and the holes in the roof, and you're going to have to find a place to live while this gets repaired, if it can be repaired. Now, if you had working smoke alarms and an escape plan, your family is probably safe. But too often, people do not escape a home fire.